What's up everybody, welcome to Balkan Moto. Today we're going to strip the tail of the Sabre. Alright everybody, so this is the bike as it currently stands. I figured I'd save you the time of watching me struggle with different tools and swear a whole lot at all the different rusted bolts and screws on here. So this video is going to focus mostly on the issues that I found, how the existing components are, and some of the future plans that I have for the tail of the motorcycle. So let's take a look. So first of all, I'd like to start with this is all the junk that I removed. I would say all of this probably adds up to close to 50 pounds of weight. Some of the things that are the heavier bits is the battery. This thing is a beast. We're probably going to switch that to a lithium ion battery. This exhaust we'll talk about later. There was all the weird lights and electronics from the tail, a bunch of the frame components, the seat, and obviously the back plastic. I have another whole bag of potentially reusable electronics, but we'll see. We might need to replace some of these because they were in pretty dire condition. Next, let's talk about some of the really strange things that I found. So I don't know if you guys see it, but there is a small screw hole right here. There's one on the other side as well. They just had two little, almost like drywall screws in them that held absolutely nothing. And I'm pretty sure these were not meant to be here. So no idea what that was, but it was very strange. It was all under the seat. The other weird thing that I noticed was I already removed it. There was a bunch of extra hoses that looked like drain hoses that were purposely pinched and not connected to anything. So I don't know what the hell that was. I'll have to refer to the service manual to see what indeed was going on there. The other thing that is kind of worrying is these bits right here. So just behind this little hose you see this white metal piece. So it seems to be welded to the exhaust header. So if I were to buy an aftermarket exhaust, I'm gonna assume that it does not fit on that piece. It's supposed to fit up to here. So we may need to purchase new exhaust headers or find some existing ones from Kijiji. What else did I run into? The electronics, the ones that I removed in the little Ziploc bag that you saw at the beginning, those seem to be in okay condition. Some of these plugs are not in the best of state. Some of them were really a bitch to remove, especially this big one right here, and you can see why. I mean, seems like moisture has gotten to it. So I guess in one of the future videos I'll have to like unbundle all this and pretty much review the whole harness to see how far we're gonna get with that. Anyway, the other thing that I want to talk about is the shock, the rear shock. There you go, more tubing, as I mentioned, extra long for no reason. So this shock, while I rode the bike, seemed to be working. But after further review, now that the bike is pretty opened up, I don't think it's in the best shape of its life. The other kind of important thing about it is that the bike still sits fairly low with it. So if we take a look from the side, we see that the bike has this kind of pretty low stance at the back, and I'd like to kind of raise that up a bit. Since the front is already dropped, we want to get that a little bit higher just to get that nicer look. I think I might be able to achieve that by tinkering around with this assembly right here. I'm thinking that if this point is raised higher, the shock will essentially push further up. Furthermore, I do plan on replacing the shock with a more modern one, which in most cases is a lot shorter than this one. So we'll have to figure something out in terms of the bottom mount point for the shock. Yeah, it's gonna be a job and a half. Other things that I noticed is, as you can already tell, there's a lot of rust and some cracking on the frame. So it will definitely need to be repowder coated. Another thing that I noticed that was wrong with the bike when I was taking off the exhaust is this little bit right here. So as you can tell, there's definitely been a piece of the engine block broken off. Now under further review, this bit is the mounting point for the engine block. So it seems like that right now the engine is literally mounted on 3 spots instead of 4. If we take a look at the other side, you can see there's a big rubber bushing right here, and that's where the engine block is mounted. So that's gonna be a big issue. I'm sure that the Honda engineers made this over-engineered, but I don't feel comfortable with riding around with an engine block mounted on 3 points. So I'll have to consult someone more experienced than myself to see what could be done here, whether or not I can weld something here, or figure out some other way of mounting this. Alright, so as I mentioned already, the idea is that this bit here will need to be raised higher such that this line of the motorcycle sits higher. Mainly because I feel like that rear bit is way too close to the tire in order to have that nice cafe racer look. The other thing that we're probably going to do is we're gonna chop the frame right about here. I'm gonna get I haven't figured out yet what kind of seat I want to get, but that will define how much further from here we need to extend it with a seat loop and weld it on. That's going to be a learning experience since I don't know how to weld, but I'm looking forward to it. What else? It seems like we have these rear brackets here that this one is from the original bike, and on the other side we don't have anything. I do kind of like the existing peg position. It seemed to be a very comfortable riding position, but we'll see how that's going to work with the aesthetics of the motorcycle. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Also, I do want to clean up this center space here. So this little bit, this little frame here and the one on the other side will need to be removed. Probably grind this right off. Now there is some sort of container right here that seems to have a drain hose, and this pipe or hose goes directly into the engine block. So I'm gonna guess this is some sort of oil or fuel overflow. I'm not sure. I gotta check the service manual to see what it is and how important it is. Probably will need to relocate it. Might need to turn it vertical and kind of hide it somewhere here. We do have more electronics here that need to be removed. So yeah, all the electronics I'm planning on kind of tucking right under the seat. So between essentially the height of the frame is going to be the space I'm working with. I'll make a little electronics pan under and try to stack everything in here, organize it nice and neat, make it accessible. The battery, we'll see where we're going to hide, because that is going to be a challenge. I think there might be some space under the tank, but we'll see. Lastly, I want to talk about some of the really bodgy things that I found with the motorcycle, especially with this exhaust. So as you can tell, the exhaust has been dinged on this side, and this is the right side exhaust. It's been dinged on this side too, which whatever, you know, like there's some damage. But the really funny thing is this bit right here. So this is the lowest point of the exhaust, and this has been just absolutely butchered, and they've attempted to re-weld it, which is just ridiculous, and there's still holes in it. So that's completely garbage. The other exhaust is not much better. So, well, this is from me dragging it around on the concrete, but you can see right here they've done a little bit of a better job. They've actually ground it down, but that's been re-welded. So has this bit here. And there's still exhaust holes in it. This has been dinged up. So yeah, this is just like, what compels someone to do this shit? There's a big dent right here that just seems like someone hit it with a hammer. Yeah, it's just nonsense all over. Alright guys, well, that was the reassessment of the tail of the bike after we've disassembled it. In the next episode, I plan on continuing disassembling the front, maybe drain some of the fluids from the bike. I need to get some more containers for that shit. Yeah, start planning on the project. So in the future, hopefully I can get some videos out with the actual plan. So I'll do some renderings of what I plan on doing with the bike, maybe play around with some of the colors, and then we're gonna actually start building. So make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell to get notifications for any new videos. Also make sure to go to my website, balconmoto.com, where I post articles accompanying each of these videos with more pictures, more explanations, and just more rich data. Also, I'm on Instagram at balconmoto 2018, where I post pictures from motorcycles that I find around town, motorcycles I'm inspired by on the internet, and little sneak peeks of things that I do around my bike. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.